So I just got done working on the Trans Am in the background here, and I made a reel, one of those little 1 minute videos that I posted on TikTok, Twitter, X, Instagram, all the social media platforms. And I got a lot of good feedback from people that they did not know of this little trick, and I had learned it from social media from someone else, and a lot of memes came out about it and everything, and I was excited to do it. So I want to show you all this little jack stand jack tip trick that I learned, and just share. I'm going to be using it pretty much anytime I need a jack in the future. So we're going to be using this jack here. I'm going to get it rolled out to the Trans Am. Ooh, need some WD-40 on that. As a teaching moment, I'll bring this jack out, but it won't be that valuable part of this tips and tricks. And we just need your standard, like, automotive jack. You don't want any of the larger ones, just one of these. So now we have everything set up. The idea is that you're going to need to be able to lift your car off the ground with this, and you'll always use a jack stand, because if you have hydraulic failure or if the car falls off, you'll have something solid to support the car, and not something on wheels and just more prone to incident. So what we're going to do is combine the two into one. Another thing I ran into is, like on this Trans Am, I don't have enough room for this jack and jack stand typically, and that's why this works out great. So as you can see, we have both jacks raised in the air, and the idea is you're going to take your jack stand. Oh, look at that. We don't have that tab in there. Let's do that too. If you did not know it, this jack has that tab, so you can secure that tab down, and it will not allow this jack to come out like that anymore. So we're just going to take a hammer and a punch and bend it in. Oh boy. There we go. And now that jack can't fall out. Okay, back to what we were doing. So you take your jack stand and you put it into the center of the jack, and then you would lift it up to support this bar, and then you would lower your jack down, and now your jack is being supported, let me tilt you a little bit, by the jack stand. Now here's the other side of it. When I was younger, I could not afford one of these jacks, and all I had was those cheaper jacks that are laying around, or something like this cheap Harbor Freight one here, which this is a variant, but a little bit more expensive, and this does not work for those style jacks. So this jack stand integrated with this jack is because it's the larger frame ones that does allow that. So that's kind of the caveat to that. Although the part of that, this was purchased from the pawn shop, and I rebuilt the pumps back here with new O-rings, bled it, put new fluid in and all that jazz, and it works fine. And I think we got this for like $50. So there is ways to be creative on getting some of these bigger jack stands. So what I want to do now is put this under the car and show you why I dig this setup so much. So typically in the past, before I learned about this, I would set our jack like this. I put my jack stand up as high as I could, and I would lower the car onto here. And in a lot of cases, if I did not need to move the jack any other places to put another jack stand, I would just leave it like this. And what I run into is, now I have all this space hooking up with two things, and when you're under a car, sometimes you need more room. So that's where the advantage of putting the jack inside of this and then lowering it like that, where now the car is secured. And you should always do a little safety push on the car to make sure it's secure before you really start crawling under these vehicles. And there's no surprises. I mean, it's literally, you're just going to jack the jack back up, lower your jack stand, remove it, and then lower your car. Then we're going to lower it. This car does have subframe connectors, so subframe connectors helps stiffen up the body on these unibody cars, stiffens up the structure of the frame. So that's one that gives me a good jack point, so I don't have to damage the undercarriage of the car. I damage just that bracket. I tell you where it's going to be the nicest to use this is on the back of this car. I only really have one good jack point on the back, and it's right here. I really don't have a good place to put a jack stand like I do the front, and I got a little bit more room. So that's where the biggest need for that's going to be. So yeah, I'm going to close out this video here. I know not everyone watches reels and shorts and all that stuff. That's why I wanted to make a longer form video to share with everybody. So I hope that helps somebody. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up, like button. If you're not subscribed, please follow me, subscribe to my channel. I do post on all platforms, and on to the next one.